If you think about Inject, it came at a time when we had agreed that we were supposed to just keep this as a movement. But then a man who once went on record asking us, what do we mean by Ruto must go, comes along and whips up the public's emotions, sources for funds, some from dubious sources, and because it has to be justified in the public, culminates into a party which lacks ideology, a party which founding members and strong members have come out to castigate, to say that the party leader is serving nothing but self-interests. And this is something that we had seen prior. And this is why there are reasons why I could not work with such a party, because you find there's a party where a man has just shown up, and then the party chair is his classmate, then he's just surrounded by a few men with dubious characters. And the problem with people like Morara is, you know, because he thinks he's a carpenter, he's closer to Christ. Think about the UDA, which is also a special purpose vehicle to win an election, has no grounding in ideology. So I sat down and analyzed in the political sphere, because remember, I used to lead an organization that was called the NCCPA, that had 67 organizations, had social justice centers, had some political parties in there, but with a realization that there are people who are just committed to empty sloganeering. Amilcar Cabral says, we cannot do away with imperialism by hurling insults at it. We will not deal with President Ruto. We will not ensure he leaves office by chanting Ruto must go. We have to organize. And I looked at this political scene when I said it categorically that for me now I'm taking a political angle. And I wanted to join a party that had grounding, that had stood the test of time. In a country that is littered with epitaphs of unmarked graves of opposition parties that have not survived the test of time.
Well, sometimes I think because I'm a carpenter, I'm closer to Christ. And it will not be further from the truth. I am indeed close to Christ. But you see, the problem with our friend Kasmuel is that he thinks that because Akili ni nywele and he has a lot of it, then he knows more. The truth is that whatever he is doing at ODM is something I did there 7 years ago. I was a youth leader in ODM when I was 22 years old.
Prove it, because this is just hearsay.
I even have a picture I'm going to show you right now. Just right now, not later. I was in ODM together with Kinababu Owino a long time ago. In fact, I remember at that time, I spent some of my help money to pay for a premium membership. I remember it was Kenya shillings 20,000. I had a lot of hope in ODM. I believed in it. My parents have supported ODM. I was at ODM at some point, so whatever he's doing now is something I did 7 years ago. So in terms of experience, political experience, I'm 7 years ahead of him, and I can give him a little bit of education about what happens in ODM. The first thing I'm going to tell him is one of the reasons we have corruption in Kenya is because there is corruption in political parties. Because when you sell tickets to candidates at a cost of 10 million to be a member of parliament, the first thing this person, when he becomes a member of parliament, will do will be to recover the money that they have spent.
I want us to stay away from hearsay, because
now we are wondering.
All right.
Then can the younger people organize?
Let's go into
so that, because we could also say the same of Inject.
All right. Let me ask this question. Which are some of the most corrupt counties in Kenya in terms of the corruption index? Wastage of public funds, because corruption is not only in the UDA government.
The EACC is investigating all the counties.
Yes. The corruption
back to how the young people organize to take power. You have started your own party.
Let me just finish on my point.
To meet the president
corruption
so
is also. Do we agree that there is corruption in ODM counties?
In all counties.
We agree there's corruption in Inject as well. We've seen
actually corruption is a Kenyan problem.
Yes. The Secretary General of the Inject Party, he talks about the Inject Party not having an ideology. The Inject Party has an ideology. We have a party constitution. We have a party slogan saying, tunaamini itabadilika. We believe that it will change. If you look at our policy, if you look at Article 2.3 of the Inject Party Constitution. Number 1 is to fight corruption. Number 2 is economic transformation. Number 3 is civic empowerment. Number 4, institutional reform. Number 5, environmental sustainability. Number 6 is justice.
But those are points.
Those are ideologies of our party.
Every
Now,
social studies textbook has that.
They might have it in writing. We have it at heart. My Secretary General at Inject Party is a Maasai. It's called Solonka Pareno.
Was he or was he not your classmate?
The person who is in charge, look, Orengo was with Raila.
That's what we are saying. What
is wrong with working with my classmate?
Yes, then what is wrong
if I trust him enough to work with him, it's exceptional. It's beautiful. How many classmates are working together?
We don't have a problem with you working
the Secretary General.
But you blaming other people for doing the exact thing you're doing, is that what we have?
I've not blamed Raila for working with his classmates.
Yes. No.
I'm blaming him for taking advantage of the Gen Z demonstration, riding on the blood of the youth who have died to benefit himself economically and have positions in government.
You know, you've taken this thing where you want to legitimize your part of the struggle with blood. That's why you would lead people against the popular temper. For example, you took your people to Narok where only you were not hurt, but your teammates were hurt. So you want to legitimize your struggle thinking it deserves blood. And we keep on telling you that if you're trying to transform
the only way I become part of my team is I'm hurt.
No. You're not listening.
Come on,
if you want to truly transform this country, you have to be absolutely honest in your dealings, because the thing which you're doing is trying to, and there's this narrative that you've been trying to see where you're driving sympathy or you're driving, I do not have a problem with you changing campaign financing, I do not have a problem with you unearthing projects. What I have a problem with is you trying to pull certain stunts to try and whip up emotion, because the new thing which you're trying to drive and which even your founding members...
Let me agree with you.
Yes, even your founding members...
If you have a part of this...
Can we also be part and parcel of this conversation?
Sorry.
Because you asked the question and it's ended up being a Morara versus Kasmuel.